Alright everyone, we are back in my bedroom. It has been so long, but I have lots of new products, feeling inspired. Time to do another makeup tutorial, so let's go. I have a couple of new things to try. Primer is nothing new. I'm using the NARS Radiance Primer and some of the MAC Luster Drops in Bronze Hero. Just mix together about 2 of the drops and a little bit more than the pea-size amount of the primer. I'm using a matte foundation today, so this Radiance Primer is really nice underneath. Gives a little bit of that like glow and takes away from the matte look, and the primer, and the luster drops, of course, just give a little bit of color. You know, it's November now, so summer is officially gone. Still pretty warm here in Bermuda, but not really tanning on the beach kind of weather, so I think all hopes of getting more color are gone, unfortunately. So I'm just gonna blend in that primer. Now that that primer sunk in just a little bit, I'm going to go in with my MAC Pro Longwear Foundation in NC37. This is one of my all-time favorite foundations. If you have oily skin, this foundation lasts all day and the finish almost gets better throughout the day. So you don't have to touch up at all, but your skin just looks less matte and a little bit more natural throughout the day if you do have oil with this. I'm not sure for other skin types how it works, but I'm like normal to oily and this is amazing. So I just take 3 pumps of this on the back of my hand, and this foundation is a little bit hard to work with. So it does dry pretty quick, so I like to work quickly with it. So I like to do some of the work for my brush and just dot it around the face evenly like this. So then when I go in with my brush, I'm not putting it into a huge blob of foundation. It's already spread out for me on the parts where I really want to make sure I have lots of foundation. And I like to take this foundation all the way up to the eyes as well, because it's just such a perfect base and it lasts so long. So I like to take my Oval 6 brush and just spread it out really quick. Yeah, this foundation is great to go all the way like onto the eyelids as well. It's just such a good base. And then I like to go in with like a lighter kind of concealer. I'll show you which one I'm using in a moment, but it does just last so good throughout the day and it really locks in once it dries, so it's not gonna move. And yeah, like I said, you have to work pretty quickly with it. You can't really fix anything either once it's set in, so really concentrate on the jawline here. The other day I had a buildup on the jawline and I didn't realize, and once it's dry it's really hard to fix. So that is one thing I'll say about this foundation, is you really have to work with it, but it's great. It's great long wearing. So now I'm gonna go in with my Tarte Clay Stick Foundation, and I think it's Tan Deep Honey. Yep, and just kind of warm up the outer edges of the face. I usually use my Sigma F80 flat top kabuki brush to kind of stipple and blend this in, but I don't have it on me, so I'm going to use my Oval 6. It's good for contour as well, so just buff that in. Darker color, the contour is all blended in. I'm gonna go in with the light kind of concealer I was talking about. So this came in my Sephora Favorites box, and this is the Yves Saint Laurent Touche Eclat in Radiant Touch. So it's just kind of like a liquid highlighter. It's not shimmery at all though, so it's almost like a light concealer to kind of highlight and brighten the high points of the face. So I'm actually gonna take it under the eyes and down the side of the nose, and all the way up to start. So I like to give it about 2 clicks per side. So you can use the brush tip to kind of just brush it on the skin. So you can see like that. Highlight it all the way up. Around both sides. Now whatever's left on the brush, I'm going to take it just lightly down the bridge of the nose like that. A little bit on the cupid's bow. Chin for some extra coverage. And just a little bit on the forehead. And now with my beauty blender, I'm just going to blend that in. If you haven't tried a beauty blender, I highly recommend them. I think I've mentioned this before. They're just great. The shape, the texture, it just mimics the skin, the pores of the sponge. So it really gives a natural skin-like finish when you're using it to blend your makeup. The Sephora Favorites box that I got does have a beauty blender in it. This one's from last year's box. This year does have the pink one, the original one, but they're exactly the same. They work great. You can see that really brightened the face up in all those high points. Now to set that in place, I'm going to use the Kat Von D Lock-It powder. It's a translucent powder. This came in the Sephora Favorites box this year, so I'm going to give this one a test out. It comes with a little mini powder puff, and it has lots of product on it, so I'm just going to go ahead and tap that in. Right now I'm just going to take a small face brush and wipe away the excess there. Whatever that excess is left on the brush, I just like to take around the outside. It's nice to kind of set some of those cream products, although I did mention that the foundation sets itself and it really dries quickly. It's nice just to run some powder over it just in case, so when we do put on our bronzer and blush, it won't stick to any patches. So putting a translucent powder on just gives you that smooth, non-sticky base for any of our other powders in the future. So the brows, again, in the Sephora Favorites box, they have a full size of the Anastasia Brow Wiz. It comes in medium brown, so it's not going to be perfect for everyone, but they usually pick kind of whatever color is most widely used or most popular, I assume. So lucky for me, I'm usually pretty close to whatever color they pick. So I'm just going to brush through my brows with the spoolie end first to make sure everything's in place. A long time since I've used a brow pencil. I've been using the Anastasia Dip Brow and some powders for my eyebrows for a really long time. So I'm loving this pencil. I haven't used any Anastasia brow pencils either, and this one is fabulous. It's really natural looking. I like to shape my brows out because they're quite thick in the front and quite sparse near the tail. So I really like to shape them out and add some extra volume kind of in the middle to the end. And this is amazing for doing that. So I'll show you how I've been doing it since I got it. I'm just gonna zoom you in a little bit so you can really see my brow. I just like to start right at the beginning and kind of start drawing a straight line. Straight line right under kind of where my arch starts at the front. You can see I kind of faked it here. So when I attach that line to the tail end and kind of thicken this area out, then I'm going to thicken it out up here as well and make like a higher arch and extend the tail a little bit. So just want to follow the natural kind of shape of your brow anyways. So I extended the tail there, and now I'm going to go on top. Now you can see I kind of made the arch a little bit higher. Go for. So if you like that too, and your brows are a little bit sparse like mine, just try out this this technique. Now I'm just gonna fan out the front just a little bit. I'm gonna go in with some tinted brow mascara after to kind of coat the hairs, but I do like to put just a little bit of feathering out here just to make sure I have the shape that I want. Just like that. And of course my trusted Anastasia brow gel in brunette. I'm just gonna brush this through. Now that both of the brows are done, I'm gonna start just do a little bit on the eyes for today. I'm gonna go ahead and use a couple of the products that I got in the Sephora Favorites box again. So I'm actually going to use the Hoola bronzer. So this is just a little mini version. This is definitely like a cult favorite. So this is super popular bronzer, and I'm just gonna use it on the eyes to deepen up the crease just a little bit. I'm gonna take my MAC 217 brush and dip that in a little bit and just run that through the crease really lightly. Taking it down onto the lid and the outer V just a little bit. To create that illusion of a more kind of open eye. On the lower lash line as well, I'm going to use the Bobbi Brown Longwear Cream Shadow Stick in Golden Pink. So this is just another little mini from the Sephora Favorites box. This is amazing. I'll just zoom you guys in a little bit more again and show you. So I put the darker color in the crease and in the outer V. So I'm just going to put this on the inner half of the lid. So I'm going to start kind of on my tear duct, and it doesn't have to be neat. It can be a little bit messy, and just keeping it below the crease. So about to the halfway point, and a little bit on the tear duct to kind of highlight it as well. And then just take your finger or a brush if you have one, but I didn't bring my brush that I usually use. And I'm just gonna press that in with my finger and make sure it's all even, there's no clumps. And it gives just the most beautiful sheen to the eye. And I'll blend it in. I think I actually want to go in with a little bit more of the crease color, so the Hoola bronzer. So I'm going to take it just on a smaller brush and focus it on the outer V to deepen that up a little bit, and under the lash line as well. The product that I got in the Sephora Favorites box is this Marc Jacobs Highliner Gel Crayon in Blacker. It's just like a really nice gel gel eyeliner in a really deep black. So I'm gonna take that just on the lash line, of course, and focusing it on the outer corner. Covering it almost in the inner corner to make sure I get a really thin line, and making it a little bit thicker as we get to the outer part of the eye. Get that wider eye look that I like. It's the eye and makes it look a little bit more open, as you can see on this side where I have the eyeliner, as opposed to this side where I haven't applied it yet. So the eyeliner is all finished, so the last thing for the eyes is the mascara, and I'm gonna go in with the new Urban Decay Troublemaker mascara. I'm gonna go in with the new Troublemaker mascara from Urban Decay. It's really cool. It looks like a oil slick color almost, and this one yet. So let's see how it goes. I'm just gonna curl my lashes quickly first. Yeah, I actually like this Troublemaker mascara. It, I wouldn't say it's lengthening or volumizing, it's just defining, but this mascara is better than I thought. Not overwhelmingly good, but pretty good so far, so. Okay, so now that the eyes are done, it's time for the face. So I'm gonna go, just put my finger in this Hoola bronzer. It's not good because there's not very much to begin with. All right, I'm gonna go in with the Hoola bronzer and my MAC 109 brush. This is really nice to really get those powders or bronzers exactly where you want them. So I'm gonna start it kind of in that contour area just under the cheekbone and move it to the top of the cheekbone as well. Cheekbones are pretty prominent on their own, so I don't technically need to contour too much. So I just use a bronzer like a lot of people have been doing recently on YouTube. So yeah, I use the bronzer and I do put it underneath, but I diffuse it up onto the cheekbone as well to kind of give that bronzed kind of contour look. Okay, so now that we have that Hoola bronzer on, I'm gonna go in with the Tarte Amazonian Clay 12-Hour Blush in Party, and just like with a Morphe blush brush, and just putting that apples in my cheeks. And I really like to blend the blush, blend the blush into the bronzer. Wow, say that 5 times fast. Just to really give that kind of all over glowy and blushing look. But I think it gives more dimension to the cheeks to kind of have them blended together. So I really like that look. So I'm gonna use the Cover FX Enhance Click Sticks in Bubbly. So it's just like a little cream highlighter. I'm gonna take it, sometimes I use my fingers, but today I think I'm gonna take it on my beauty blender. Just kind of rubbing that on like this, and then putting it right on the cheeks. So just a really subtle glow. It's a really nice kind of champagne color. It's not really gold and it's not really silver. So it's really nice for any skin type. Sorry, skin color. A little bit on the nose. And cute bow. There we go. Really nice glow. I love the look of a cream highlighter. It just really looks natural. Now I'm gonna go in also from my Sephora Favorites box. I got a travel size of the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. I thought this was a pretty good size for the box. The Sephora Favorites box is an amazing value, especially if you want to try lots of products. If you watch my vlog, I go through them quickly, but if you really want to try lots of new products without buying 11 different products, it's a really good way to get your shopping done and kind of feed that addiction without breaking the bank. Anyways, the all-nighter setting spray as well is a pretty good size, so I'm just gonna go over with that. This is really nice. It feels like it's taking longer to dry, but it almost feels like it's locking everything in more. I guess I'm partial to the Fix Plus, which just feels like water basically on your skin. For the lips, I'm gonna go in with a new purchase as well. It's a new favorite. This is the MAC Nicki Minaj lipstick in Nicki's Nude. This is so pretty. If you are darker skin tone, obviously Nicki has a darker skin tone than me, of course. This would be like a really nice nude. But for me, it's a really beautiful rosy color. I actually wore this on my wedding day and I bought it that day as well so I could have it for touch-ups throughout the day. And I love it. It's one of my new favorites and I haven't been wearing much else since I got it. So I like to use it with a little bit darker lip liner. So I'm gonna use Soar just to define my lips first. Alright, so now that I have that lip liner on, you can see I really colored it in on the outer parts of the top and bottom lip. I like to do that to kind of contour and bring some depth into the lips. So Then I like to kind of diffuse it with my finger. And now I'm gonna go in with the lipstick. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial and liked watching me use some of these new products and trying out some new things. I definitely love basically everything that I received in the Sephora Favorites box. So if you're in a Sephora and you see those boxes, definitely you have my seal of approval to pick one of those up. So let me know what you thought of this look, and let me know if you have any suggestions for videos or new products to try out. I'm definitely going to try and upload more consistently now I'm back for good, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!